Hi everybody, my name is Joshua Goldstein, licensed acupuncturist and Chinese medicine practitioner, everyone's favorite acupuncturist here in Ridgewood, New Jersey. And today I wanted to speak to you about mental health and the treatment of anger, frustration, apathy, and depression. In Chinese medicine, we have a different way of looking at mental health when it comes to depression, anger, and irritability. And we also look at three phases that the person can go through at different stages in the progression, where a person can go from anger to total apathy. And so I wanted to share with you some of the science behind this, and also how we diagnose using a method called Chinese medical pulse diagnosis. Most people believe that people get irritable and they're upset because they're unhappy with their thoughts and unhappy with their feelings. And this is actually true, but the real issue in Chinese medicine always relates back to how well an organ functions in the body, particularly in this case of anger, frustration, irritability, depression. It relates more to the liver function in Chinese medicine. The liver organ, if not functioning well, will be producing more negative thoughts. It will lead to people who are more grumpy, more frustrated, more angry, and more apathetic at the extreme stage, even depression in people who have that. Now, the science behind it is that stress and anxiety actually have been found to contribute to high liver enzymes. Since they reduce stress, can reduce blood flow to the liver. The liver gets less blood flow, the liver will function less well. Additionally, stress is also connected to elevated cortisol levels. Elevated cortisol levels in turn is connected to actual liver damage. So this has been documented in the literature. To get a little bit more specific, if you went to the doctor and he ran some blood work and they found some elevated liver enzymes, but you didn't have any problems like cirrhosis or hepatitis of the liver, then they would just scratch it off as a watch and wait. But if the doctor actually asked you, how are you feeling? Are you very frustrated in your life? Are you feeling more unhappy in your life? Are you feeling more irritable in your life? The patient would probably say yes, because they are correlated. In Chinese medicine, we diagnose three stages that a person can be at when they're angry or frustrated or irritable. The first stage is straight out anger. Person is volatile, the person gets triggered easily. When a person gets triggered, he really lets people have it. He's the guy shaking his fist when you cut him off. He's the guy screaming out loud out the window. And you know these types. And the second type are the people, they're more frustrated. They don't have any patience for things. They have a lot of self-doubt, and they feel dissatisfied with practically everything. You know, you give them the perfect sandwich one way, they don't like it. You give it to them another way, they don't like that one either. They're just frustrated, irritable with everything. And the third phase is more where we see people who are apathetic. They've kind of given up on life. They show lack of enthusiasm. It's more the Eeyore syndrome from the Eeyore character in Winnie the Pooh. How do we diagnose at what stage a person is in, or even if they have such a condition? Well, in Chinese medicine, we have something called Chinese medical pulse diagnosis. Chinese medical pulse diagnosis is not a mythical thing. It's simply a method, a hands-on method that we use to measure the jump or the shape of the pulse as we feel the blood flowing through the radial artery on the same area on the wrists that you would take your pulse rate. But instead of just looking at how fast the beats of the pulse are, we're looking for the jump or the shape of the pulse. In other words, how well does the pulse or the shape rise or doesn't rise according to your body. And it should be in a certain area. And we look to see if you're close to that area or not. So for example, in the case of full-on anger, you will find a pulse on the left wrist in the middle position, and you will see that pulse pounding away. It's very strong at all levels of the pulse. It could be convex or wiry, but it is a very strong pounding pulse. That pulse is linked to the severe anger that people are having. Now, if we feel the same liver pulse, which is that second position on the left wrist, if it's felt as deep, so it's not as high, and it's pounding away on a very deep level, that person is more frustrated. They don't explode as much as the volatile person, but they show self-doubt, dissatisfaction, and just about at everything. And they can get angry too. And then with the final phase, where you see that apathetic, depressed, lack of enthusiasm, everything goes wrong syndrome, Eeyore syndrome, we will feel on the left pulse in that liver position a very deep pulse, so it doesn't come up very high. You have to push down to the bone level of the pulse. It's blocked, which means sometimes we don't feel the actual blood vessel itself. We don't feel any shape to the pulse, because that's what we're looking for, the shape. And there's not much strength to it. So what I wanted to share with you is a difference in Chinese medicine to traditional medicine. Chinese medicine postulates that if you have poor blood flow going to a specific organ, and in the case of anger and frustration and depression and frustration, that would be the left pulse related to the liver organ, your body will not produce good thoughts. They will be negative, they will be angry, they can even be suicidal. And if you are suicidal, you should seek help immediately. In traditional medicine, they look at the brain as having neurotransmitters, and if we free up enough neurotransmitters, your body will feel better. But so there is a bit of a difference, and that is one of the hallmark differences between Chinese medicine and traditional medicine. The Chinese medicine postulates that if you have very highly oxygenated blood flowing through all the organs of the body, as you age, as you get older, as there's inflammation, as there's cholesterol, as there's emotional upsets, all these things will contribute to more sluggish blood flow on a non-optimal level that will then cause you to feel out of whack most of your time. So if this was of interest to you, if you yourself have a condition that you're trying to get more equilibrium, more better balance or health, we have ways that we treat it. We use acupuncture, or we use Chinese herbal medicine, which can target each of these phases using very specific herbs to target and rehab that organ so that the liver organ works better. So that's how we look at mental health relating to anger in Chinese medicine. My name is Joshua Goldstein. Thank you so much for watching. If you need any help, please feel free to contact me. Bye for now.